Happy New Year, everyone. It's week 18 of the NFL season, the first ever week 18. We'll conclude the NFL regular season schedule and feature two games in which both teams are still trying to get into the playoffs. The Chargers visit the Raiders, and the winner is in on Saturday. The Ravens host the Steelers. Whoever wins that game still has the shot. The loser's out. Which teams will rise to the occasion in week 18 and get to the playoffs? Welcome to the January 4th Father-Son Holy Sport Weekly Podcast. What's up, T?
What's going on, G-Man? Excited. You see I got all my Cincinnati gear on, not only the Bearcats in the playoffs, the Cincinnati Bengals locked down the AFC North. Great weekend. So much fun.
Well, do I need to tell you? Do you look at my background?
I know, you're just a Joey B fan. It's a Cincinnati fandom here.
Yeah, come on. I'm a Ohio boy, you know? Athens, Ohio. The truth from Athens, Ohio, Joey Burrow. Hey, man, let's kick things off with the January 4th edition of the Ross Rundown. It's a special segment of the Father-Son Holy Sport Weekly Podcast brought to you by our friends at Woundwise IQ. Hey, y'all, do us a favor and press the like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. And let's get right into it. Team Money, first question for you that I have is, what's next for the Browns after missing those playoffs?
Man, I think they got to just take a step back, reevaluate Baker Mayfield at this point. I don't think you're going to be able to find anyone better unless you can trade for Deshaun Watson. I like their team. I like their core. I like the young guys. The defense is getting better towards the end of the year. I think they need to run it back one more time unless they can get Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, etc. And, Baker's already said he's going to get surgery and not play this week. I think he should have done that a long time ago. It's a tough pill to swallow, but I really think get Baker healthy, bring everyone back, another year into the system. I think the Browns are going to be formidable and can get to the playoffs and win a game like they did last year.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Baker has that last year left, and he wants some big money. He wants paid like some of the other guys. So is he willing to be patient and hang in there and prove? I think next year is a prove-it year. Is he willing to wait and do that? He's 29-30 as the Browns starter in 4 seasons. He did well the second half of last year. Everybody thought he was the guy. Rode him into the playoffs. And then this year has been a big disappointment. So he's going to have to prove it next year and stay in there. And I'll tell you what, Burrow has escalated this whole situation because of how fast he came in and escalated the Bengals to the top. And that's really putting a lot of more pressure on this than there probably would have been.
No, that's a great point because Big Ben's out. Then you're only looking at really Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in the division. But like you said, Joe Burrow just escalated this thing, going from, the Bengals expecting to get a top 5 pick this year, probably, to them winning the division. Crazy. You're right, man. That's a great point. So we'll see what they do up there in Cleveland. But hey, down in Cincinnati, we're enjoying it all right now. But speaking of the Bengals, they had a hell of a showing versus Kansas City this week. After winning the division, are the Bengals Super Bowl contenders, G?
Absolutely. Did you see this team go toe-to-toe with Kansas City? They beat Kansas City in a shootout. The guy behind me is on fire, and they played head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes. That showed you right there. They're 10-6. They've won 3 in a row. They've clinched the division. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year was all talking about who's going to win out of Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland? No one considered Cincinnati.
Crazy.
And now look where they're at. Joey B, man.
Hey, it's impressive. And I hate to do this to my own team, but I don't think they are. Unfortunately, when's the last time you saw a team with a young quarterback or inexperienced quarterback who's never even won a playoff game, let alone played in one, and win the Super Bowl? I can't think of someone like that as a contender in my head. If he wins a playoff game, the next year they're contenders. That's a contender in my mind. He gets to a playoff game. He wins that. He proves he can win a playoff game. But regular season and playoffs are two different things in the NFL. They're just completely different. And I know this guy's ice cold veins, but I don't know if I can consider them contenders yet, especially with Zach Taylor as their head coach.
Yeah, well, we're going to see, man. We're going to see. I think they can take it a long way here. Hey, let's look at some of the other contenders in the AFC, Team Money. Do you think we should take the Titans seriously?
Oh my gosh, I can't do it. I physically cannot do it. And I think it's because they're scheduled down the stretch here. Okay. Let's just take a quick look at what they had at the end of the year here. They played Houston, New England, and they lost those games. Jacksonville, they win easy. Pittsburgh, they lose. That's a tough game. San Francisco, they win barely. San Francisco gave that game away. Miami, they crushed them. I just think, without Derrick Henry here, they've won the games that they're supposed to win. They lose the games they're supposed to lose and more, losing to Houston and Pittsburgh. If they should be better than them. I just think they've gotten off with an easy schedule. And I don't trust Ryan Tannehill to be the only offensive guy on my team. I give him props. Like, Vrabel's got to be up for coach of the year here for getting them the 1 seed potentially. Like, that's crazy. But without Derrick Henry, there's no way I can consider these guys contenders. I don't trust Ryan Tannehill to win a Super Bowl. I don't know about you, but I can't take him seriously with Ryan Tannehill being the best guy on their team.
Well, Ryan Tannehill is the weak link, but they're going to have Derrick Henry back. So just think about, hey, what's this going to be? He just got released to go practice, so he's going to start practicing. Yeah. So they're moving him out there. The guy's going to be back. The Titans are the top seed right now in the AFC right now, which means they get a bye. And the word is he's back for that first game if they get a bye.
I did hear that he's potentially back. That's tough because you don't know how someone's going to look coming off an injury, especially with a guy that big. I don't know what it is. I can't take the Titans seriously. I just physically cannot do it. There's too many good teams in that division or in that conference. I don't know. Do you take them seriously? I mean, do you?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, they were in the AFC Championship 2 years ago.
They were.
So they were in that championship game. Last year, they won their division, and Buffalo beat them out. They won their division just like they did this year. They beat the Colts again in their division. And
not sure.
Buffalo stopped them last year, and it looks like it could come down this year. Maybe Buffalo and Kansas City are still the two best teams, even after last year. Buffalo, Kansas City, now here they come. They're back again, unless the Titans or someone else can crash the party.
It'll be interesting to see if Derrick Henry comes back here. But my real question when we transfer over to the other conference here, the Bucs had an interesting weekend with Antonio Brown leaving the game, middle of the game versus the Jets. They almost lose to the Jets. I mean, are the Bucs falling apart here? Antonio Brown's gone. I mean, what's going on with these guys? What do you see going forward?
Oh, yeah, they appeared to be falling apart. Didn't play well against the Jets. They had the issue with Antonio. Now they don't have Antonio and Chris Godwin. The defense is okay. They're not as good, but they just need to get some guys back. So, they got some holes, but TB12, man, TB12 will not let that happen. I mean, this guy will carry them on. There's only so many quarterbacks in this league that can carry a team on their shoulders, and he's one of them. I don't know if there's many. There's probably 5 in the whole league that can do what he does. But they cruise the division title. They're 12-4. They've won 2 games in a row. They're going to be fine, man.
I don't know. They seem to be falling apart to me. Godwin's out. Antonio Brown's gone. Mike Evans is banged up. I mean, is Tom Brady really about to go win a Super Bowl with Scotty Miller and Brashad Perryman?
Who's the guy that he threw the touchdown to, the winning touchdown against the Jets?
Everyone's caught one great.
Cyril.
Okay.
His name was Cyril. Okay. If that guy won a game with a receiver named Cyril.
I'm just saying, Gary, if we're going to count everyone's best catch ever, then awesome. Like, that's not how this works. We're talking down to down basis here. Scotty Miller is not going to win you football games. I just am concerned with the receiving core. Leonard Fournette is also out. And this defense is, like you said, is banged up and is not as good as they were last year. The Bucs are legitimately falling apart at the seams right now. I do not trust them to win or get to the AFC or championship game at this point. I don't think they can. I don't think they can beat Arizona or the Rams. I don't see it. The Eagles are a good team right now. They're 8 out of the 10 potential scenarios have the Eagles going to the Patriots, or sorry, to the Bucs to play. The Eagles are going to give them trouble. I mean, I don't see it.
Carolina's visiting Tampa this Sunday. Tampa's going to sit back, get a little rest. Tom Brady might start, but he'll rest. I'm sure the second half they're going to rest these guys up. They're going to get ready, man. They're gearing up for another run. They're coming for another run, man. Let's stay in the NFC with one of the surprise teams you just mentioned, and let's talk about the Eagles, man. You impressed by this team?
I am shockingly impressed because I thought Nick Sirianni was a joke. I mean, he was like 38 years old and he wasn't even calling plays. He was like a QB coach. And that's why I make fun of Cincinnati, because they hired a QB coach, like Zach Taylor. You know, you just don't have the experience that is needed to coach a football team. But my God, I mean, he's done an impressive job. Like, I have to give Zach Taylor his flowers. I also have to give Nick Sirianni his flowers. The Eagles are in the playoffs, no matter what happens this weekend. Yeah. It's been an impressive run. Jalen Hurts, no matter what his stats show, that dude's a winner. It doesn't matter if he throws 5 passes or 50 passes. That guy is just a winner. He knows how to find the end zone. He's clearly got the locker room because of just the man he is. I'm impressed with Jalen Hurts, and I'm shockingly impressed with Nick Sirianni.
Jalen Hurts has been that way ever since college. The guy just, ever since he sat on the sideline, watched Tua throw that bomb for a touchdown after Tua came in and replaced him, and he just held it, humble. He congratulated Tua. He was humble. Okay, then he went to Oklahoma. But still, the guy is respectful. He's a great leader. The locker room has always loved him, and so have the coaches. And he's leading that team. That's what he does.
I mean, I'm just going to be shocked if the Eagles after this season go for a new quarterback or draft a new quarterback. It seems to be heading that way. They're just not convinced with Jalen Hurts right now. But I mean, he's a second-year quarterback and got you to the playoffs. I don't understand what the confusion is here. Joe Burrow, Herbert's trying to make the playoffs. Everyone loves Herbert, but he's a second-year guy and hasn't gotten the Chargers to the playoffs. The Eagles are in the playoffs.
Eagles are at home.
I mean, they're crazy.
Eagles at home this week versus the Cowboys in that Saturday night game. Dallas favored by 7, but like you said, the Eagles are in, so they can kind of chill a little bit knowing that they're in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, let's go to a team in their own division. I mean, the Giants are a mess right now. Do they need to fire Joe Judge? Do they need to get rid of Daniel Jones? I mean, what's next for these guys? What do they got to do here?
Oh, no. Joe Judge is losing it, man. You see him ranting and raving and swearing in the press. I mean, you don't do that if you're a leader of a team. I mean, the way he went on and on and on. I just don't see it. It's now their 5th consecutive losing season. The last 2 have been with Judge. They're currently ranked 2nd worst in the NFL in offense.
Yeah.
They ended the game this last Sunday against the Bears. They had -10 passing yards. -10 passing yards. This guy is not improving the team. You got to see improvement. It's like any leader. Okay, you can take over a bad organization, but do you have it moving in the right direction? And they're not going in any direction.
Yeah, like I agree with what you said, everything you said. You're in charge of the offense. I don't care if you have a defensive background, a special teams background like he does. You're the head coach. You're in charge of getting this offense going, and it's looked pedestrian for 2 years. Daniel Jones has made no strides. You're 10-22, so you're barely winning 30% of your games here. I mean, he's just not been impressive. And like you said, culture's a big thing. He brags that people are calling him and free agents want to come to New York. No, they don't. All the reports coming out have said that people hate it there, that he has made the culture worse. He's making guys wrap up and hold tennis balls, run laps and practice. These grown men don't take to being coached like middle schoolers. And that's all the reports have come out and said. Not only does Judge need to go, Daniel Jones needs to go, and Gettleman especially needs to go, the GM. Clean house here. Don't like anyone there. Just start fresh.
I think you're right. Let me just finish this up, this Ross rundown. First show of 2022. Let me finish this up. Looking at the 5 worst teams in the NFL based on their record. Of course, the Giants are there at 4-12. We just talked about them. What do you think? Who do you think is the worst team? I'll give you a little rundown here. There's 2 teams that are 4-12. The Jets, who look pretty good with Zach Wilson against the Bucs. The Texans, they play San Fran this week. Or they played tough at San Fran. They play the Titans this week. They could beat the Titans. Anyway, Jets and Texans are 4-12 along with the Giants. And then you have 2 teams that are worse. The Lions, 2-13-1, and the Jags, 2-14. Who would you say out of that group that you feel worst about? Is it the Giants?
Man, I would say the Giants usually, but the Jaguars right now are so bad. But at least they have their franchise quarterback, so I'm like griping with that. The Giants don't. But man, everything else about the Jaguars is horrible. Trevor Lawrence has looked horrible. Their roster's horrible. Their GM's not good. And right now, their head coaching and their culture seems horrible. So I have to go with the Jags at the moment. Like you said, the Jets have looked good in spurts. The Lions clearly love Dan Campbell. They fight for him. So I like the culture there. You know, the Texans have shown like Davis Mills might be the best rookie quarterback right now. Crazy.
Yeah.
People don't realize that guy was the number 1 recruit coming out of the country when he was in college, but went to Stanford and kind of got lost in the mix. 3rd round pick by the Texans. Good pick, Texans. But it's between the Giants and Jags. So who knows?
I agree. And it just shows you that the Lions at 2-13-1. It just shows you that the leader of the team makes a difference. Even though it's 2-13-1, the guy has the culture. It's going as a positive culture. People like playing for him. That's what you want. That's what these teams need at the bottom.
Yep.
Hey, man, we hope you're loving the new Ross Rundown, a special segment brought to you by Father, Son, and Holy Sport. If you're interested in being a guest on a Ross Rundown, reach out to us. This is sponsored by Woundwise IQ. Woundwise IQ is a patented mobile analytics software app that automatically measures and analyzes chronic and surgical wounds. It is used by leading physicians and nurses caring for people with chronic wounds to document their healing progress. Just download the app from the App Store. You're ready to go. Learn more at woundwiseiq.com. Hey, if you love the show like we love you, please press the like and subscribe and look for some of our other shows and segment clips where you play your podcast. Look for a Sat Father Son and Holy Sport, or you can check out our new website where you can find all of our shows, even buy merchandise. It's Father, Son, and Holy Sport.com. T-Money, have fun this weekend watching that extra 18th week of games, baby.
All right, man. Bengals keeping it together, winning the North. All right, we'll catch you later.
Yeah.